Hey, welcome. I hope you are doing good. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's reading is the person on your mind. What's next for your relationship or your connection with this person? Okay, so we have three groups for you to choose from: group one, group two, and group three. Please feel free to pause the video if you need extra time to choose your group, but I will see you in your readings. Hey, welcome. I hope you guys are doing good. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've chosen the first group, then this reading could be for you. The person on your mind, what's next in your relationship or your connection with them. All right, so to start off, we have Queen of Cups in reverse, Ten of Wands in reverse, and the Justice card upright. Okay. So please only take what resonates, makes sense with the situation, okay? But it seems like there could be some emotional misunderstandings, feelings of being emotionally drained, which could possibly lead to a disconnect in the relationship or connection. One or both people could be feeling maybe extra sensitive or just sensitive in general in the near future. And it feels like someone's coming to the realization that there's no point overextending themselves emotionally, whether that's you or them, or maybe both of you in different ways. But it feels like someone in particular could be deciding to have better boundaries within the relationship. And it also feels like someone decided not to take on the emotional burden of the other person anymore, by reinforcing their own boundaries. So it does feel like maybe both could end up pulling away, like pulling back to gain clarity and maybe gain some sort of internal, balance and, clarity. And it feels like one or both of you would want to avoid burnout or heal from burnout that is already present within your relationship. So it feels like there could be, this energy or this need to, uh, like, it feels like maybe one or both of you could feel guided to, nurture yourselves above your relationship. It also feels like in the near future, maybe someone may need to learn emotional self-awareness or just awareness in general. And it feels like a disconnect in your relationship could actually lead to the other person or lead to one or both of you gaining emotional self-awareness, or either of the other person, themselves, or yeah, my mind just went completely blank there for a second. So it does feel like there's a need to take accountability, or that's something that will be a theme in your relationship or connection moving forward. Someone deciding to, take accountability for themselves, maybe make some changes. But there could be a lack of emotional reciprocity as well within your relationship in the near future. It feels like feelings may be internalized instead of being, vocalized and shared with the other person, which could cause problems. It could cause, resentment, and again lead to, further disconnect within the relationship. And it feels like there may be a particular person in the relationship that doesn't want to feel like they're drowning in the other person's emotions. And so someone could be actively avoiding codependency. It feels like there may be a fear of vulnerability in the relationship, which again could lead to perceived, rejection, a feeling of rejection, whether that's, on your side or theirs or both. So in the near future, the relationship you do have, the connection you do have, could feel unstable or unpredictable. There could be like this push pull kind of dynamic, like I give, you take, I don't give, that kind of push pull um, dynamic. But it just feels like someone doesn't want to feel obligated in some way. Someone or both could be seeking more independence as well within the relationship. And it also feels like something that's been hidden within your relationship will be revealed very soon. And this does feel like it's something big. And with the Justice card being here as well, like it could bring about a revelation. One moment. And if there's been an energy of one or both people pretending that everything is okay, or you kind of just going along to get along and just maybe brushing things under the carpet, it feels like there's going to be an end to that moving forward. It feels like one or both of you are no longer going to be pretending that everything is okay. And it also feels like there will be this desire to simplify your connection. And it feels like if things don't change in a positive way, it does feel like resentment will build over having to handle most of the load for some of you, like feeling like you guys aren't in things together, feeling that expectations aren't being met. So for some of you, this could lead to taking some sort of space from each other. Someone may decide to be honest about unfairness, emotional, mental, and physical labor and unfairness going on within those areas when it comes to your relationship. And it just feels like someone's gonna end up choosing their peace over over maybe the problems that could be present in your relationship at the moment. I think I said this already, but it feels like there is this realization that burdens aren't being shared mutually between you guys. So, that revelation could lead to either a resolution or change within your relationship or space, where it feels like someone is at their breaking point. So ultimately, it feels like there will be a breakthrough, and it feels like you guys will be entering a phase of truth and, reckoning. I can't even say it. So truth and, let me find another word. um, not karma, but like consequences for actions. So maybe, yeah, karma. So yeah, there could be some of that down the line in your relationship. And it feels like someone or both people are being forced to take responsibility, to take accountability. And ultimately, it feels like the scales are being balanced within your relationship. And with the Justice and the Ten of Wands, and with the Ten of Wands basically being the card of burdens for me, maybe the scales, need to be balanced so that one person isn't carrying, everything or the majority of things. So it does feel like there will be a decision, if there will be a turning point. Karma could be at play too. So what you guys have respectively given in the relationship will be returned. It feels like there will be some kind of reckoning in this relationship. So it feels like, no more excuses will be allowed within this relationship, whether that's outside forces kind of, forcing, this to happen, or whether it's one or both of you kind of holding the other accountable. I don't know. But it just feels like there will be no more excuses, no more avoidance. For some of you, there could be some legal matters coming up in your relationship. Maybe resolution when it comes to legal stuff, contracts, stuff like that. And it feels like there's like learning mutual respect as well. And like there could altogether be a feeling of your relationship, your connection being tested, And it feels like your relationship being tested is almost like, are you guys gonna sink or are you guys gonna swim? And whether one or both of you are willing to, take accountability or make changes, if this reading even resonates with you, you know. But yeah, moving on, we have You're Too Good For Me. Don't say no, say yes. Shadow work. Still thinking of the little things you did and said. Opportunist. Instant connection. We also have Take a Big Bite Out of Life. We have Ready to Love Again. And we also have Energy of Love. So with Ready to Love Again, it feels like maybe ultimately, especially with the Ten of Wands and the Justice card being here, that there will be positive changes within your relationship, but it feels like things need to, maybe come to a head before that is able to happen. Like there needs to be this maybe or there will or needs to be a confrontation in order for things to change. But it does feel like there will be a new lease of life within your relationship. It feels like, it says here, you've healed enough to you've healed enough from the past to open up yourself to new love. So it feels like there will be healing within your relationship. But yeah, and with You Are Too Good For Me, there may be one person within your relationship that does feel like the other is too good for them. But it does feel like whatever person's feeling this way, they're changing their perspective on that, or they will eventually change their perspective on that. and there will be an increase in confidence in themselves. So with opportunist, it feels like one person is going to stop being an opportunist within the relationship, and that could come back to the energy that came out earlier, and one person feeling like they are taking on majority of the burdens, and it feels like the other person is going to either be forced to realize that, or they're going to realize it, however that comes about, and realize that they have been an opportunist and that they need to work on that. And with shadow work, it feels like someone is taking accountability. Someone could be working on themselves. So with teeth, take a big bite of life. It feels like one person within the relationship could be deciding to focus on their ambitions or goal that they have outside of your relationship. And I feel like that message, well, a similar message came out earlier in terms of one or both people deciding to, um, you know, have a little more independence, right? And with I'm still thinking of the little things you said and did, it also feels like one or both people within the relationship will also be deciding to maybe let go of past hurts, maybe hurtful things that were said and done within your relationship in the past. Confronting it instead of, repressing those feelings. I mean, there could be a period of, still repressing certain things. But like I said earlier, there could be a moment where things do kind of come to a head, and that is no longer viable. And with instant connection, it also feels like there's going to be a realization within the relationship that connection or attraction isn't enough to sustain a relationship. So there could be a realization when it comes to that as well. And with energy of love, it also feels like there's an increased, self-love within your relationship, like respectively. And with please don't say no, please say yes, it also feels like if there is one person in the relationship that is doing a lot of people pleasing, it also feels like that is being nipped in the bud as well in the near future when it comes to your relationship, right? But that is all I have for those of you who chose this group. I do hope it could be helpful. Please only take these messages if they make sense for the person you're asking about. But I'm wishing you guys the absolute best. Thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Please take care. Bye. Hello, gorgeous people. If you've chosen the second group, then this reading could be for you. I hope you are doing okay. Thank you so much for joining me. So, the person on your mind, what's next for your relationship and your connection with them, right? So, to start off, we have the Four of Pentacles in reverse, the Knight of Swords upright, Page of Cups upright. So it does feel like emotional walls are definitely coming down in your relationship. It feels like one person in particular, though, is definitely ready to open up. For some of you, if there have been grudges within your relationship, whether that's on your part or theirs, it feels like, that's being released as well, which will lead to healing within your relationship. But it does feel like someone's ready to forgive and move on. For some of you, this could be in terms of something that happened in your past or their past, and you're kind of willing to forgive and move on from something that happened respectively in, the past, and that allows you guys to move forward when it comes to this relationship. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, it feels like someone's being less possessive as well, less defensive, less jealous, and in some way, trust is being rebuilt. Okay. It also feels like there will be love in this relationship without clinging and codependency. It feels like maybe it is moving into a more healthy kind of flow and dynamic. And it feels like someone, one or both of you, will learn to stop controlling the outcome and to just let things flow. And by letting go of that control, you may see, positive changes within your relationship. And it does feel like someone or both people will stop acting out of fear within the relationship, or connection. It feels like there will be more energy. There will be more energy being given to the other person if there has been not, if there hasn't been much energy being, shared between you guys, or it's been inconsistent, or whatever it might be. Or it feels like there will be more effort in the areas of your relationship connection where effort is needed. It also feels like financial and material concerns will be lessening. There will be more emotional freedom within your relationship. And it just feels like your relationship will be moving from strength to strength. I feel like you guys will be entering a less guarded phase, more openness between you guys. There could be a sudden message, communication, bold move, maybe even a confrontation. But it does feel like communication will be good. Someone's getting the answers that they want. And it also feels like there will be less tiptoeing around each other, or one person tiptoeing around the other person. And it also feels like there'll be less overthinking, and by there being less overthinking, you guys will be able to just charge ahead within your relationship without without that mental stress of overthinking. But it feels like passion will be super high in your relationship. But it also, even though you guys will be charging ahead, it feels like at the same time, it does feel like that will be like speed will be balanced with sensitivity, so yeah, things will be moving quickly. There may be more of an impulsive energy within your relationship, and just doing things you haven't done before. But at the same time, it also feels like there is balance still present. But it feels like there is a determination to make things work, you know? It also feels like intellectual and emotional connection within your relationship is strengthening. There could be some deep conversations coming up, some debates as well. And it does feel like there is there will be a developing of new feelings within your relationship, rediscovering feelings and just reconnecting. It also feels like there will be some sweet gestures in your relationship, and there could be some emotional innocence creeping into your relationship, or the energy of emotional innocence and just genuineness regarding emotions between you both. And it also feels like there will be someone in particular expressing themselves in a more healthy way. But yeah, ultimately it does feel like there is a lightheartedness that's returning to your relationship, like a childlike kind of cuteness to your relationship as well. And just being able, like one or both of you being able to see your relationship through fresh eyes, And someone could be apologizing as well, if I haven't said that already. But altogether, it just feels like there will be a new beginning in love. And for some of you, this is, within your current relationship with the person you're asking about. But for some of you, this could, like, if this is a new thing, then it will turn out to be a new beginning in love for you. And maybe the messages that have come through so far will be aspects of your relationship, perhaps. But it does feel like you guys will feel connected spiritually, and like your intuitions in sync with the other person. Emotional growth will be evident, but it could be slow, but just sweet, like slow and steady. And that could be necessary as well. And it just feels like you guys will be on the same page when it comes to a lot of things. And overall, it just feels like there will be less tension and more care, more flirting, okay? More good vibes. But moving on, we have your skin looks like silk. Random thought, I love your belly. I'm so comfortable around you. Self-love. I'm not good at this lovey-dovey stuff. I don't know how this will end, but I know that I want to try. We have spread your wings and fly. Unconventional. And listen to advice. Alright, so with unconventional, it feels like your relationship could be moving into unconventional territory, like maybe territory that you guys aren't really used to, or it might turn out to you guys might have an unconventional connection, or just do certain things that other people could consider unconventional. So yeah. And it also feels like there's an acceptance as well within your relationship of being like, hey, okay, like our relationship is very different and very unconventional, and just being cool with it, just accepting it for what it is. And with your skin that looks like silk, it also feels like you guys might enter a more touchy-feely phase in your relationship, or more so if you guys already are touchy-feely, it could be kicked up a notch. But yeah. And with I'm not good at this lovey-dovey stuff, someone who, one of you or both of you, whoever is typically not into like the lovey-dovey stuff, like one of you could be in that King of Swords energy, like that's a bit more serious, and one of you could be in the Page of Cups that isn't like more like emotional. And whoever's in that kind of King of Swords energy could maybe become a bit more lovey-dovey within the relationship, and kind of lower their walls, and just be a bit more open and be a bit more vulnerable with the other person. Okay. So yeah, talking about being vulnerable and comfortable, we have I'm so comfortable around you. So it feels like what's next in your relationship is that you guys are going to be feeling super comfortable with one another. If you guys already feel comfortable with one another, like you guys will be kicking it up a level as well. And it also feels like there'll be increased self-love within your relationship, which will, help you guys also love each other and connect with each other and be emotionally available for one another, right? So someone may have given you advice regarding your relationship, and it feels like some of you could be listening to advice when it comes to your relationship, which could really help things. So there could be more appreciation for each other's bodies as well. And finally, with I don't know how this will end, but I know that I want to try. It feels like more effort will be made, but at the same time, it's like you guys aren't stressing too much about the future or the long-term future, and just maybe living in the moment a bit more when it comes to your relationship. Okay. Oh wait, I haven't done this one. Spread your wings and fly. And with that Four of Pentacles being in reverse and with spread your wings and fly, it feels like you guys, like if there has been like a restrictive or controlling, defensive kind of energy in your relationship, it feels like there will be more freedom within your relationship, which will end up being or feel like a very positive thing for your relationship. Okay. But that is all I have. For those of you who chose this group, I really do hope it could be helpful. I'm wishing you the best. Thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Okay, please take care. Bye. Hey, welcome. If you've chosen the third group, then this reading could be for you. I hope you guys are doing so good. Thank you for joining me. So the person on your mind, what's next within your relationship with them? Okay. So to start off, we have the King of Swords upright, the Hierophant in reverse, and the Death card in reverse. So I just want to throw this out there before I forget. What it feels like there will be like an acceptance within your relationship with them, like accepting each other, accepting each other's differences and stuff like that. Like differences in lifestyle or culture. But anyways, so starting off with the King of Swords energy, it definitely feels like someone within the relationship is approaching the connection from a logical and like a logical place, and kind of just not and not from a place of emotion. It feels like someone is trying to gain clarity on the other person's feelings. For a lot of you, this could be them, but it could be your energy too. And even though someone's trying to approach things logically, it feels like they won't be emotionally detached about it, but they just won't be super emotional. And it also may take a while for them to express themselves. But for a lot of you here, like this King of Swords energy could be theirs, but take what resonates. So they may not be super expressive, and I think I may have said this already, but it does seem like they'll want clarity on how you're feeling, especially whether you think there's a future here or not. It just feels like someone's eager to, take the lead, but at the same time to do it in a way that's rational. It feels like there will be more direct communication between you guys as well, lowering of boundaries. And depending on how things work out, there could be some coldness or distance, but intentions are still good, but there could be distance, whether that's physical distance or mental or emotional, but for whatever reason, there may be some distance for some time within your relationship. It feels like there may be one person within the relationship repressing emotions to maintain control, to regulate themselves. But just because it just feels like someone's repressing their emotions in a way um, to approach things in maybe a logical way, and to not approach things in a way that is chaotic. So it doesn't feel like they're repressing emotions um, to like distance themselves from the other person, or to like be emotionally detached. Just to like throw that out there, okay? Um, so yeah, it feels like overall one or both of you will be approaching the connection relationship with integrity and honesty. And it also feels like one or both of you won't be encouraging emotional chaos within the relationship as well. It feels like one or both of you will be deciding not to play games, and to again approach things in like a mature way. There may not be a lot of open affection, but behind closed doors, it feels like there will be a lot of affection. It also feels like there'll be increased respect in your relationship, particularly from one person to another. And for a majority of you, this does feel like them having an increased respect for you. It also feels like one or both people will try to make the relationship more stimulating, perhaps mentally. Things could feel emotionally lacking at times. For some of you, this could be due to distance. And for some of you, it could be due to issues with family. The Ten of Cups came out, to clarify. I lost it, but yeah. And it does feel like one or both people will be trying to do the right thing according to them, but ultimately for the benefit of the relationship. And it feels like someone will be making decisions with their head and not their heart. But it feels like there will be a big turning point when it comes to communication. And for some of you, there could be a rejection of traditional relationships within your connection, traditional roles and expectations. So your relationship might be or feel rebellious, maybe not to you guys. For some of you, it could be, to you guys, it could feel rebellious. Um, but this feeling of rebelliousness could also refer to like outside influences. that may not like or understand unconventionality within relationships or within your relationship. But some of you could be choosing to be rebellious within your relationship. For some, someone in the relationship might try to see if the connection is worth going against their family's preference or their family's tradition or whatever that might be, and just seeing if an unconventional relationship will work, you know, or it could just turn out to be an unconventional relationship. But it does feel like there could be a resistance to commit in a traditional way. And it also feels like there won't be too much expectation of the other person and the relationship itself. There may not be much structure. You know, things could feel unstable or just undefined. And it just feels like one or both people won't be thinking too far ahead into the future. And it does feel like you guys will be moving out of a cycle that doesn't serve either of you. And this could be a cycle that you guys are going through, you know, within your relationship currently, or it could be, you know, cycles that you're going through outside of your relationship that could potentially impact, you know, your connection. Okay. And it also feels like someone's releasing a fear of change. You know, again, both being mindful of old patterns not repeating, whether that's old patterns between you guys or past respective relationships. And it just feels like you guys will be reviving your relationship, making sure the energy is good, lively. Um, but there could be some underlying fears of losing the relationship. But it feels like whoever could feel that way, um, will try not to make a big deal out of it. You know, may try to like brush it off a little bit. Okay. Moving forward, we have the distance is killing me. Nothing will stand in my way. We need to talk. I will do everything in my power to protect you. Is it bad that I've never made love? My family doesn't approve. And we have key. Your aha moment is at hand. Beyond the ego, surrender to the flow of life. And we also have healthy communication within relationships. And we have easy does it. So with key, seek no further, your aha moment is here. The best way for me to kind of explain this energy is that it may feel like there's a light shining on your relationship. Maybe seeing each other in a new light. With the distance is killing me. The distance in your relationship, whether that's physical or mental or emotional, it could hurt or impact one person more than the other. And whether is it bad that I've never made love, whoever's connected to that King of Swords energy, whether it's you or whether it's them, it feels like there will be more awareness. about, like acknowledgement within, yourself or within their self and their self. Does that make sense? Anyways, and kind of being more, I don't know what's the right word, like being more not emotional, but just being more open emotionally, you know? And whoever is a bit more, um, reserved when it comes to like lovey-dovey stuff, it feels like they'll be opening up a bit more in that way. So yeah, there could be some important conversations happening with we need to talk. We also have healthy communication in relationships, so you guys could be communicating more in a healthy way or continuing to do so. It feels like with I'll do everything in my power to protect you, it feels like one person will definitely be a lot more protective over the other person. But with Easy Does It, it feels like things will be like, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of pressure when it comes to your relationship moving forward. Maybe kind of like, going with the flow, or just, I don't want to say not having much direction. It doesn't really feel like that. Um, hmm. But there might not be a lot of structure, perhaps. And, for things to maybe move forward in a positive way between you guys, your relationship could require an easy, a simple, and a not delicate approach, but yeah, maybe a bit of a gentle approach. And with beyond the ego, if one person or both people were kind of struggling with ego and maybe kind of putting that forward in a healthy way, it feels like that's changing. And you can't, I don't really, but it feels like one or both people will be channeling their ego in a more healthy way moving forward. And with my family doesn't approve, there could be some issues surrounding, families and approval, and maybe compatibility with families. But even though it doesn't seem like one or both of you are kind of being super forceful, it also feels like there is focus when it comes to the other person and the relationship, with nothing will stand in my way. And like, even if, you guys, let me see. It just feels like you both will know what you want and stick to that. Like, you want them, they want you, and even if, things aren't perfect or smooth, or there is some distance, it feels like, you guys are still moving, regardless. But yeah, that is all I have for those of you who chose this group. I do hope it could make sense and be helpful. I'm wishing you the best. Thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully I will see you again soon. Please take care. Bye.